What the fuck is going on out there, people? You are now listening to episode 2 of the KB podcast. This is a tremendous milestone. We actually pulled it off. The first episode is out there. Anyway, you are now listening to the KB podcast. I'm your humble host, Kai Beam. Here with me, I got Gamdo.
What's
And
up?
yeah, man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's just a lot of shit. So you said you want to start off with music, right? Just to get that, because it's not really
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of big.
Because your man Kid Cudi just announced a new album, so why don't you go
Yeah,
ahead and talk about that?
yeah. I actually, for one, am really excited about that. If you guys are a fan of him or haven't seen it by now, you should have it. It's kind of like a week ago or so he announced it, but yeah, I am super excited about it. I'm a super big Kid Cudi fan. I already knew he had a project. I believe it was supposed to come out next year, so I guess maybe he's doing two because there's a show he's supposedly working on Netflix, which that's pretty cool within itself. I'll check that out just to see because he has a creative mind. But yeah, he has another album I believe called Intergalactic, which was supposed to come out next year. So I'm assuming maybe he's doing like a whole two album thing. So that'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But I am super excited because for a long time, people have been asking for a Man on the Moon 3, and I remember specifically way back when people were asking him for it. It's like 2016. That was back when he was dealing with a lot of shit back then. So like I felt like that kind of uh, inferred his decision on that because I remember him distinctly saying, "Oh yeah, like I'm like if you're waiting on Man on the Moon 3, like don't wait up for it because like I'm just in a different creative space and I'm like I don't feel like I really need to do that." And I understood it. It's like you don't have to if you don't want to because like the first two are kind of like, at least for Cuddy fans, they're pretty legendary and they're classics for me. And yeah, it's just hard to ask an artist to go back and do work like that when they're just in a different creative space. With that being said, I don't think Man on the Moon 3 is going to be like those other two. He's just going to be doing his own thing, and I'm here for that. So yeah, um, I can't wait for it. Let me know if you guys are excited for that as well. If you are listening to us, and if you are, we appreciate you. Anyway, um, what else is there in terms of music? Um,
I just gotta say, I just remember listening to Man on the Moon, like back when we were in high school and stuff, and
yeah,
man,
it's a classic album. It's a classic album. Like a lot of people I know really fucked with that album and it's funny because it took me a long time to get into Cuddy. I want to say like I didn't get into him. Like I listened to a couple Man on the Moon tracks. Of course, like Day and Night. It was such a big record back then. It was like what, 2008. We were still in high school and stuff. And yeah, it wasn't until like one of my friends back then. He's like, and I think it had just been when Man on the Moon 2 had came out, and he put me onto it. I was just like, damn, this guy is kind of weird, but I like it. I fuck with it. And then I went back and yeah, that's history. Like this nigga is a genius, dude. Not only that, I didn't know this too until recently. Like he also had a hand in making 808 and Heartbreaks. Like apparently he did a lot of writing on that. So I was like,
oh
that
yeah,
that makes sense. Like because that album kind of sounds like it's him, really, in certain aspects of it. But yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited. Definitely excited. So, what do you
yep,
want to get?
yep.
What do you want to get into next? I think that's all I have for the music. I don't think there's anything else that really have on
Well,
my
we got a
list
lot
today.
of L's today. We got a lot of gaming news, some anime stuff. And we're gonna take a little dive into what happened with the elections because it has been a long time coming, Ben. We will get into that. Let me start off with what's going on with Crunchyroll. So apparently Sony has reportedly close to buying Crunchyroll for $1 billion.
Yeah,
Um,
big deal actually,
yeah, I don't
because
really know what that entails. Actually, no, you go ahead. You go ahead. You have more information on it.
well, I just kind of skimmed over the article because I found it interesting because I had also forgotten. Like I think was it earlier this year or last year? Sony had acquired Funimation, and I completely forgot about that. And before they even acquired that, Funimation and Crunchyroll were in a partnership. But because Sony had bought Funimation that kind of ended. But now that they're going to be buying Crunchyroll, they're going to have like a really expansive anime, catalog. But it's funny because me and Alex have talked about it. For you guys that don't know Alex, he's supposed to be the third part of our group. He'll drop in when he can. He's just usually a busy guy. But anyway, me and him were talking about how basically, why did I just lose my train of thought? Oh, right. Basically, how these services like Funimation and Crunchyroll, their websites and stuff, like their apps, they're really outdated. They need to somehow make it more like user friendly and like not so buggy. So hopefully, if they get this acquisition, they can go ahead and like just maybe create some sort of, I don't know, a new service or something that just kind of is more functional, looks better, has all the anime on there. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, part of me kind of likes the idea of anime being in one secure location,
Yeah,
but it
because
also at the same time kind of screams like another subscription because, to be honest, we have kind of went from cable to subscription in the past like 2 or 3 years, and
yeah, yeah,
subscriptions are starting to turn into cable bills. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, they
Like,
are. I'm not
you
even
got
gonna front.
Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max. You got all these three things right here. This is gonna total up to be almost like $50, if not already, and that's not even including Crunchyroll or Funimation. So
Exactly, and it sucks. It sucks. It's like that because right now, what am I currently paying for? I have everything through Hulu, which honestly I like it having in one bundle. They give you some discounts or whatever. Because right now I'm paying like 42, so I have Hulu with no ads. I have Netflix. Well, that's separate. That's not in one bundle. That's by itself. Netflix, HBO, Stars, and am I missing something? Did I already say HBO Max? You get the point. Yeah, it is like cable, but it's funny because I was talking about it with my mom actually, and even in that, even though we are heading towards cable, it's still not as expensive as cable because I remember having cable like a while back, like recently, and nigga, that shit is expensive though, and you don't even get the amount of content you get now. So I at least appreciate that because back then when we were paying for cable, it was like what, almost $150, like almost 200, and you don't even have like HBO and Stars and all this shit. You had to add that on for like an extra like $30
yeah,
just so you can fucking access those channels and with ads in the in between. By the way, so I'm all for that. I just don't want it to get too much out of hand, like you were just saying, because
yeah,
it's just like everything is trying to become a subscription service, and that shit, while it is cool, it's like all right, let's kind of put a cap on that. Like, come on, give us some deals here and there. Which is why I like
yeah.
like with Hulu, like when you do have some add-ons, like I said, they do give you like some sort of like little discount bonus. So I'm at least appreciative of that. But yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I mean, I just think I don't know. Like, I was gonna like cancel my Hulu subscription because there's that. I actually started to watch Netflix more than Hulu because a lot of my shows on Hulu ended, and I'm not sure whether they're gonna come back or not because currently, like, we're still having these delays with shows, and like they're mostly gonna come out next year. So like, there's really nothing new except for maybe like anime whenever they're done, like producing all that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, I tried the Hulu like no ads, and I don't know, it doesn't really matter to me. I can stand a 90-second Ford commercial because you know makes it feel a little like cable. I grew up on cable, so like I know, um I kind of prefer that. But uh yeah, let's look into the fuck ups in subscriptions with Quibi. Um
Yeah, that's a funny one. That's a funny one,
yeah,
actually.
so the funny thing was is I've heard of Quibi. I've seen a lot of commercials about it, but I didn't know whether or not it was a subscription service for TV or if it was an Uber Eats like uh product because essentially what ended up happening is it was up and running for about 6 months and it failed. And you see all these commercials with like the chick Sophie Turner from X-Men or Game of Thrones, and then you see the thing with like how I saw Quibi first was with Chance the Rapper, and this is how like I couldn't tell whether or not it was like a TV show or not, or if it was like something like for food, because we have this man Chance the Rapper like in a restaurant, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, sir, we don't have any reservation for you." And he's like, "Quibi," and I'm like, "What the fuck is that? Like, am I watching TV or am I like ordering food? Like, what the fuck?" And I don't know. Hearing the fact that they shut down, I'm not surprised because you would think people are gonna be like open to these new subscription services like Apple TV, which that's like another thing too. Because honestly, much like myself, I feel like a lot of people hate the idea of having to make a new subscription, so they're gonna be pretty selective with the things that they subscribe to,
Right.
and you have a lot of these bullshit shows that no one really cares about. Why would you put all this stuff on something that's not even like quick bites? Like, tell me that does not sound like something that you would eat on a $5 menu from McDonald's. Like,
Yeah, it really does. Like we were saying off mic before we started recording, they did an awful job advertising this app. It's just like you should have been way more like straightforward with what this is gonna basically be as a service. Like as far as I understood, like I've heard a lot of people discussing it, like some of the podcasts I listen to, and essentially this was supposed to be like a mobile catered sort of quick bite, watch a show while you're in an Uber or you're going somewhere. It's like a 10-minute drive or some shit or a 20-minute drive. Now, while that is an interesting idea, I don't really think that's going to work because most of the time you want to watch shit on your TV or provided maybe you have a big iPad. I watch stuff on my iPad at work or whatever, right? That's just because it's a big enough screen that I don't really notice that I don't really feel that weird about watching it like on my phone. Like, because it's just weird when you're on your phone and you're watching something and then you have your battery life, that shit starts dwindling and it's just like, it's annoying. But
okay, all right,
mm,
okay. So let's say that this is for mobile, right?
yeah,
Why not have a partnership with YouTube or TikTok to where you have a platform that like people might be interested in? Because in this case right here, if it's mobile, you're competing with TikTok and YouTube.
right.
Two of the biggest corporations. One of them had almost got shut the fuck down,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
two of the biggest platforms right here, and you're gonna make a $1 billion investment in something that's only 5 to 10 minutes for an Uber ride. I think they also blamed that COVID was the cause of its fuck up.
But
You
that,
gotta you gotta adapt. You gotta adapt. You
yeah,
can't you
that's a
can't just be
bullshit
like, well, I
excuse.
hope they.
That's a bullshit excuse. You wanna know why? Because realistically, dude, COVID should have drove your numbers up. Everyone's home, so that's bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, if their whole thing is about like, oh, like, well, no, yeah, you're right, that is bullshit. Cause it's fucking dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just like
again, it's just like I hate these shows right here that have like they try to take like the biggest like award winning or Emmy winning like actors and like put them in a show that does not seem even remotely interesting. Because like I remember when I had gotten the Apple TV, because I was like, what is this right here? This looks like it'd be interesting because I just thought, because I ended up having Apple TV, the little 2x4 box, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, get us free like a 3 month subscription or a 3 month trial, and all there was a lawyer show, um, some boring Maryland looking show, and then like they are showing a trailer for another Tom Hanks, which, if you ask me, I don't give a fuck about Tom Hanks at all. I'm tired of seeing this motherfucker as a captain or someone with rank, because whenever that
yeah, this
happens,
nigga does play a lot of like
he
army
seriously fucking
armory
does.
positions. Yeah, it gets old. Like the last thing I saw him in, which I thoroughly enjoyed though, was that Mission Impossible movie with
He was in Mission Impossible.
yeah. Well, he's like the headliner, I believe. It was him and Henry Cavill was like one of the villains in there too. That
Oh, we're
actually
talking
wasn't.
talking about Tom Hanks, not Tom Cruise.
Wait, did I really just? Nigga, this is how you know I'm tired. For this is how you know I'm tired. Because if for anyone like I'm just gonna go over a tangent here. I had to drive to PA last night with my mom to basically pick up a family member. And nigga, that shit was exhausting. So here I am talking about Tom Cruise, and you're talking about Tom Hanks. All right, continue. Like that.
Yeah.
That was just
I was just
shit.
trying to picture. I was trying to picture the voice of fucking Woody from Toy Story, like giving Tom Cruise some advice. I can't do an impression, but it's just like I can still imagine it. Um, but yeah, no, like I'm just tired. I'm tired of seeing Tom Hanks playing this nigga who lost something. He does that in every single role. There's a film that's coming out, I think next year, where once again he's a captain. I don't know what captain of literature. He was telling folk tales, and oh, Kai Beam, you're gonna love this because essentially it's kind of like Last of Us 2, where he's
Oh,
like saving, he's like saving a girl, and he has to take her somewhere.
oh my.
I saw the trailer. I was like, I don't give a fuck about this because not only doesn't he even look able-bodied, but he's supposed to be responsible. And he's like, they're showing him like slinging a gun, like shooting shit, and I'm just like, all right.
Oh man, that's funny. What was the last Tom Hanks movie I watched? Probably, it had to have been Toy Story 4. Yeah, because he was Woody in that. And then
Yeah.
before that, it was probably Castaway. That's a great movie though. I can't lie. That's a really good movie. It's been a while since I've
I
seen that.
I like early 2000 Tom Hanks film, but just like ever since this guy like grew like gray hair, he went full gray. It's just like he's playing like this stoic person who's always like gone through shit, and he's just trying to go day by day, take one step at a time, kind of person. Just the plot is overdone. I personally, I'm over it.
Yeah, it's kind of like you know what that kind of reminds me of. It kind of reminds
So,
me of Liam Neeson, where he always plays
oh
roles
yeah,
where it's like he has to get some revenge or like something's happened. He's like, oh, I need to kill this nigga right here. It's like, dude,
yeah.
do
Speaking of
you
niggas, I
ever?
wanted to kill one because
Oh yeah, I
remember when
remember
he
that. Yeah, that was just oh my god, that nigga's dumb as fuck for that. Why
he
you would
was so
say
into
that?
method acting that he actually almost committed a crime and was gonna actually try to kill a random black person. What a
Yeah.
fucking
Well,
idiot.
the whole story behind that is like I don't know what this fucking guy was thinking. He was promoting this fucking movie. I think it was called Revenge, which realistically it's like Taken or any of these other fucking films he's done before. And like he basically tells a story of how like yeah like at like a while back like how it relates to this film is like one of my friends she actually got raped by this black guy and it made me real mad. So yeah, I wanted to kill black people, and I was like, wait, nigga, what? What did you just
And,
say? I was
and
like,
just to
nigga.
further reiterate, he essentially said that he was gonna find the next black person that he saw and brutally beat him up. But
Yeah,
that's
which
besides
is
the point. That's old news.
yeah,
Um,
it is old news, but it still is just like, why would you even say that? Like, it's just
I
dumb. It's just
I
fucking
have
stupid.
no
But
fucking
like you
idea.
said, let's not even get into it. Like, just whatever.
Yeah.
It's old news.
Yeah. So
So
the next thing as far as shows, Assassin's Creed finally got announced that they were gonna do a Netflix show. It
surprising.
was about time. You know, the funny thing is in our old YouTube channel, I actually did a video about it where initially it was announced to be an anime, and I was just ready to punch a fucking wall because that was the dumbest idea I've ever heard from turning something that is would essentially be like an avatar because like my mind in this show since it's a Netflix series is to make it live action and you can essentially have it to where it's like Avatar the next Airbender, the last Airbender where like every so seasons you switch off to the next assassin and then you have little bits of modern day. It's seriously perfect because the movie fucked up really badly. The fact that you had Michael Fassbender, like, yeah, he was a good protagonist, but you don't have enough time to put all this and consolidate it into a movie. You have to do it into a TV show. So,
Right.
um, yeah, my hopes for it, what I expect is to be like multiple assassins, like every so other season. That way you can really show the diversity in like location. You can be very loose with like your creative ideas, like you're gonna have like a lot of diversity in the show, and I feel like if they do it right, it could be like better than it, actually. No, I can't even say Witcher because I've never seen it, but I mean
You
it
should,
could
you
be up
should,
there.
you should watch Witcher. Like it honestly surprised me how good that was. Because, like I said, initially when they had announced Henry Cavill as Geralt, I was like, I don't know. And then like when I actually saw it, I was just like, okay, he's done his homework. He's a fan of the game, so at least he has the mannerisms and the gruff for it. I'd check it out when you have time because I know we're watching all these shows like Breaking Bad and all these other shows. But we'll get into that at the
Definitely.
ending segment when we talk about what we're watching currently. So
Yeah, I just hope because like what you need for this show to be successful besides the story, because everyone likes the story in Assassin's Creed. The people who don't are new Assassin's Creed fans, but um, they need good choreography. They need like the parkour, because if you take any of those two things out, oh my god, especially the fucking parkour. If there is no parkour and the only thing they're doing is jumping over fucking hay barrels, I'm gonna shut that shit off.
yeah, let it have it be authentic. Maybe get like people who worked on some of these big action movies or something like with choreography
No,
that are good. Good.
just have people who do free running. Just have a
That's
team of
true.
free runners and just shoot some shit. In fact, there's a YouTube channel, I forgot what their name was, but
Oh, I
every
know what
single
people you're
time,
talking about. Yeah, I
yeah, the ones
remember.
that every
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed they release, they dressed up as assassins and like parkoured around the city. Do some shit like that. They're literally throwing ideas out there, so just fucking pick one. Um Little on that. Let's talk about. Actually, no. We're gonna save Social Dilemma for another time.
Yeah.
As far as gaming, boy, we got some weird shit going on.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, we could quickly brush over like so. Apex says that Apex Season 7 recently came out, which
Oh yeah.
honestly put some more interest back into the game because me, Gamdo, and our friend Izzy, we used to play it all the time. But after a while, it gets boring, and then especially like what happened. So we played like a lot in Season 5, and then Season 6 rolled around, and it was kind of like, for one, I was already disappointed off rip because there was no new map at that point, and not only that, there really wasn't that much content either. So it was just like,
No, not really.
yeah, it just got boring. And then Ghost of Tsushima came out, we just dropped that shit immediately. So, but recently we waited until Season 7 came out, and not only is the content there now, but damn, that map is beautiful, and the new legend is super cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely gonna hop back in. Like I said in the last episode, you know, we'll stream every now and then, or I'll stream every now and then, and you could come through, and maybe sometimes we could play with the viewers. I don't know how that'll all work, but make sure to drop
We'll
by
get there when we get there.
when we get there. But
Yeah.
yeah, for now it seems super dope, and I'm happy they're going in this direction. It's cool. It's cool to see.
It's
Yeah,
a fucking about time that they're
seriously.
doing it, and like I don't know. I was telling Kai Beam, I was like, because I'm not gonna lie, I was like one of the first ones in the group to like drop the game because I was getting so frustrated because what they did, they made a change, and like I was liking it because they had the first update to Season 6 where if you got caught lacking, you got fucking whopped, like you got shot up and it was over. And then you had like the whole thing with the shields and stuff, and I actually liked it because one thing that frustrated me the most. Oh boy, here we go. If you guys can't hear it, because President-elect Biden has officially won. I live in a very democratic area. It's about to be the ending of Return of the Jedi over here. So if you hear some noise, that's it right there. Anyways, the fuck was I saying? Yeah. So basically, I love the update at first because it pretty much got rid of the whole thing where players would just fucking jump in a room and you would shoot at them and they would just fucking riddle you with bullets. I hated that. And that's something that like the pro Apex players like would do all the fucking time. Like
Yeah, it is
somehow,
true.
some way they would just come in there, just kick down the door like fucking FBI and just start just painting everyone. And now they couldn't do that and they complained enough to where they actually changed it and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this because it increased the sweatiness in the game. Yeah, I
It
said that with a slur, but
it did. It
yeah,
did.
and I was just like, man, I was like, I don't even want to fucking play this right here. My main was Pathfinder. They hardly give this guy anything. There's like at least 3 to 4 fucking wraith suits who look really good, by the way. The only thing that Pathfinder gets is a debuff and looking like fucking Rambo. Fuck
Yeah.
out of here with that.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. They clearly have like. I mean, I guess they cater towards more of the characters that get used more, but that's just the way I feel with Loba too. Like Loba's like one of the main people I play as, and they don't really seem to do shit for her. Like
Yeah,
especially in
that was a
costumes.
crazy thing.
It's like they recently had that event last season. Like it was literally called Aftermarket. Like hello, she should have
They
had.
said that was
You
supposed to
know,
be for Rampart, but the thing was, I was like,
it's just it. I meant
did
in
she even
name.
have a Halloween costume? Did she even have a Halloween costume?
I don't even think she did. No.
Man, oh my
Yeah.
god, bro,
Yeah.
man.
It's just like
Hey,
I don't
I
understand.
know it would be like not safe for work material, but I mean, hey, thick dyes with Halloween costumes, you're gonna get some money from that. Man, waste it
Honestly,
up.
honestly, like
That
that's just a missed opportunity. Like you
wow.
literally made her like built a specific way. You can kind of like make money off of that a little bit. Not
Yeah, let's just say it.
you
Just
know
go ahead and say it. You're gonna make money off of that, but
yeah.
instead you want to make Costa look like the Joker, and
Yeah, which like I said, these people already have multiple costumes. While these costumes are cool, like clown caustic and all that type of stuff. Like literally, Lifeline, she got a new costume too. But it's like, well, wait, just the last event, she got a new one too. So it's like,
it's
why?
fucking crazy.
Yeah, like
The
why
only
you
thing
guys?
Loba got was a new LED light to bounce off her ass. That's pretty much what it is.
which
No,
I
that's
which I which I
seriously what it
got
is.
because honestly, even though that shit is so basic, it looked nice. So I was like, let me just get it because I play this for a lot anyway. But it's dumb. Like they need to like kind of figure out a way better to like make sure every legend gets love, right? So maybe they'll
Uh,
do that in the future. I don't know.
on the Apex Reddit, that's where they get a lot of their like ideas for buffs and everything and creative ideas. Like most
Right.
of it or a good portion of it is from people and fans. They
Yeah,
also
it's
put
true.
out ideas of the outfits and all the other stuff and not a single one. Like I've seen so many of Pathfinders and what was it? Mirages, and I'm like, man, that would be so perfect. It doesn't look like it would affect the hitbox that much. It doesn't like seem like it's like too over exaggerated. I mean, I don't even know what the over exaggeration would do to it, but I mean, it's just like it's such a good idea, and the only thing that they think about is essentially what the pro players play. Like you said, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
most picked
yeah.
players or characters.
Yeah, they definitely, and I mean, I guess because that's where you make your money at. You're not making money from the casuals. You're making money from the niggas who play every day, hardcore, decimate niggas 24/7. So I guess you're gonna listen to them more, but hopefully, you kind of take some of these player feedback and kind of, make stuff for us too, right? Because we love playing every now and then. It's a fun game. It's nice to
I
come
mean,
back
just
every now and then.
do they? I mean, it seems like they're going to do a story for each legend at some point because
Yeah,
I mean they
yeah.
did one with Caustic.
Yeah, this
They did
season,
one. They did
this
one for Mirage too. So I mean,
yeah, this
because
season
that gave that dude a buff.
it's revolving around Lifeline and Octane, so that should be cool. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. But yeah,
Yeah, I gotta say though, like you said to reiterate the map, I really love the colorfulness and just the diversity in it. It's a big map, and I'm so glad that they added like vehicles in there because
yeah,
people will be caught up into some Apex drive-bys. I can tell you that right now. They about
yeah,
to get,
and
you're about to get a
oh
lot of boys in the hood or Ricky shit going on.
yeah,
But
I didn't tell you guys too. Like you can actually set shit up on that vehicle too. By the way, like if you have a Rampart on your team, she can literally put a turret on it, dude. Like that.
oh no, oh no,
Yeah,
forget the trade,
yeah,
forget the trade.
yeah,
Damn. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, yeah. That map reminds me of Ratchet and Clank, and that's like my childhood game. And man, I would definitely be playing more Apex
Yeah, for sure,
for this season. So
for sure.
not sure what I'm gonna get
Battle Pass. I don't know when I'm
Yeah,
gonna get it either,
yes.
but once we start playing it, I guess I'll probably get it around sometime there. Because I
Yeah,
definitely
because
want that armor
I
helmet
paid for the
too.
battle pass for like literally every single one. Shit, I even paid a battle pass for PUBG, and like I kind of wish I didn't because
Yeah, we
the
stopped
game,
playing PUBG.
yeah, it was like a filler
Yeah,
game, but
yeah. Like it was fun while it lasted, but I don't know. It's just it was so rough sometimes that it was kind of like I don't know. It just kind of took me out of it. Like we'll be running, scavenging for supplies, and then the ring just there's no sound. It's just you're singeing now. It's like okay,
this shit
is
was funny. There
it?
were so many times where someone would throw a grenade and there's no like head warning, there's no warning at all, and all of a sudden we'd be like just waiting in a building, someone would chuck that shit, just blow up. Like
Yeah, it's just like damn, like some like
I
niggas are
love I love that
sneaky.
part of the game because like you had to be aware of your surroundings and like you wouldn't get no like HUD thing showing you like, oh, you're getting shot this way. If you were getting shot at, you wouldn't know. The only way you could tell is if you looked at the where the bullet hit your character. So that was a funny thing.
Yeah,
Um, let's get into some gaming right here. When I said we had some L's in the game in the gaming area, man, we had fucking Cyberpunk get delayed again. People have become xanthophobic, and I actually learned that word recently. It's the fear of the color yellow. And every time they see this little yellow wallpaper right here, it's like, oh shit, it's bad news. The fact that they actually delayed this game surprised me because it went gold and it passed its 90-day period of its last delay, and people were like, okay, this is going to be it. Because I was hoping that this game was going to be out on the 19th because I didn't know at the time how this election was going to go out. It was starting to just be really, really stupid, really stressful, and I just wanted to take my mind off of that with Cyberpunk. But because the fact that the PS4 and the Xbox, what is it, Xbox One?
Xbox Series X.
No, this console
Oh
generation.
yeah, the Xbox X One X or whatever.
Whatever, they like the Xbox, that shit. Um, yeah, so basically blame those consoles for fucking it up because they're only able to get like I think 1080p but 25 frames per second. That ain't good.
Yeah, that's shit.
Honestly, what they should have done, and I don't think their sales would have went down if they had did this. What they should have done was release the next gen console versions on the 19th and then have the current gen consoles on December 10th because
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
so and to be honest, well, no, not everyone's gonna have a PlayStation 5. I can't even find one, even though people are talking about how they're gonna cancel the pre-orders. So um, yeah, that was really shitty. But hey, you know what? If it's gonna get the game up and running, well, I mean, it already is for the PC and PlayStation 5. But yeah,
yeah. I wasn't as surprised about that news because I remember back when they had first even announced this game and they were showing off all the things you'd be able to do. I was like, this game is going to take a long time. And I
you know,
remember,
do you remember the first time they announced it? Because it wasn't 2015. They first announced the game in 2012.
that's wild. Maybe I'm thinking about when they first started showing gameplay. Because that was back in 2014. And I
Yeah.
remember the joke I say is like Cyberpunk 2077. That shit ain't coming out till 2077. Like the way that shit was looking. But honestly, I
Shit,
hope.
the way that it was looking, not to cut you off, like Cyberpunk got delayed, the fucking elections got delayed. I thought Cyberpunk would have came with the election results as bonus content. Like that shit was just everything is getting delayed. It's wild. It's a wild time we're in. But keep going.
Yeah, it's just I just wish they would give themselves enough time. Like honestly, if they were just like upfront and told everyone like, yo, like, cause you're doing all these delays. I'm hoping it comes out this time because if not, then it proves my point that maybe after this next delay, you should just be like, you know what, guys, I know it sucks, but spring next year, just to give you guys enough wiggle room. And then maybe if you were to finish early, you could be like, you know what, let's push the date up actually. January 15th or whatever the fuck, right? Whatever.
Yeah, they have to do
But
it. I don't even know
but
why they're actually having it on Google Stadia. Like,
that's
fuck that
weird.
thing.
Yeah, that shit is trash. Like I don't even know why you're developing for that, but whatever, I guess. I hope it comes out because I really want to play this game. It's gonna be fun. It
I
looks
did
awesome.
too.
It looks
I
awesome.
hope that
And
I hope the corporate part of CD Projekt Red doesn't delay it again because they're the ones responsible. Because when they had sent out that tweet, the people who were actually working on the game found out the same time we did, so
oh
they
shit.
didn't even know. Yeah,
Okay.
it was the corporate part from what I heard.
Wow.
You know, a game should have been delayed, which was Watch Dogs. That Watch
Yeah.
Dogs Legion. I already knew I was going to get the game. A couple days ago, I was debating whether or not I wanted to get the UPlay Plus just to like play the game for like $14 a month. And honestly, it ain't even worth it. It looked fun when I saw one of my YouTubers, one of a YouTuber that I watched play it, and recently we found out that the entire asset of the game, which is over 600 gigabytes of info, got leaked. A game about hacking somehow got hacked. Now, now is that ironic? So
Wow.
someone threatened that they were gonna hack the game, and the fact they actually did it is just, man, I don't even have words for it, to be honest. Outside of that, the game had a lot of bugs. A friend of mine got it, part of the Uplay Plus, and he got it on PC, and he has a GTX 2080, I think Ti or Super, I forget, but he was getting 25 to 35 frames per second.
Uh,
And after he fixed that, he did like the update for it, the patch. And guess how much it increased? Guess how much the frame rates increased?
by 5.
By 2. he
Oh
got
my god.
he averaged to 37 frames per second.
Oh my god.
And
Like
not only that,
that's the thing with PC. Not to cut you off. That sometimes I I despise about PC
go ahead.
gaming. Sometimes it's just like how these companies don't release an optimized product, and then you're the one who has to deal with their shit. Like that shit is so fucked up. I remember when that happened back when I was a really big Assassin's Creed fan, and man, I played myself with that one. I had gotten the gold edition of Assassin's Creed Unity. I had pre-ordered it, and on PC. God, dude, that shit was a fucking mess. Like it was awful. And I was so pissed off, nigga. I deleted that shit off my system. I didn't touch that for like a year. When I came back, I was like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and play this. And it actually was fun when it was working. You know what I'm saying? Like a full fledged
Yeah.
game as it was supposed to be. That shit was fun. But yeah, it's just dumb when these companies are just like, yeah, just fucking put it out. Like we don't care. Like even
They
if you have
delayed
a
it.
super computer, like fuck you.
They delayed it once before, and what makes it worse than Unity is not only is it, they had the whole like no face all gums fucking glitch. They
Ugh.
have microtransactions in the single player. And I'm not gonna lie, I will never respect microtransactions in a single player game because of the fact that this whole pay to play thing is, and this kind of goes into like casual gaming, but the whole pay to win thing is just fucking shitty because, and how they even do it too is I saw the menu for it. You buy an outfit for like what, $10, but you have to buy a $15 ticket thing, so that way, or 15 like dollars worth of coins to actually purchase it. So you have this extra money just lying around, pretty much enticing you to actually get some more tickets, coins, my bad, to get some more shit. And it's just like, why why am I even paying for these Ubisoft games? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like I don't like Valhalla just because of the fact that it literally has the exact same assets as fucking Odyssey.
Yeah,
Because
that is lazy
I,
as fuck. That's
I
lazy
don't
as
like
fuck.
I don't like Odyssey, to be honest. Beeb
I
got me onto Odyssey, and I was like, I'll try it, and
I enjoyed it for what it was. Now, was it like one of the best Assassin's Creed? Probably not. But um, the one things that took me out of it sometimes was, for one, like they never really. Well, I mean, I guess they do it like on the in the later part of the story. They let you know that you're not really human. You're like half god or whatever the fuck you are. So like, but initially when you're playing it, it's like when you're doing these like high jumps and you like do a roll and you like don't die or anything. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's just
really
like
weird.
it took away that whole thing.
Yeah, it took kind of took away your suspense of disbelief, and also too, I really didn't like how they had, for one, the parkouring and then the scaling and climbing. Like that shit was
Yeah.
fucking weird. Like you just be scaling like bare ass stone with no footholds, and it's like, okay,
My
like
thing that I liked about it was the fact that like the parkouring um was starting to just become so fluid that it seemed like actually parkouring was worth it because I think the last one that I think was good was Origins because like it was somehow had way more fluidity than Odyssey, which is weird because Odyssey was made way before Origins. So
it was.
that, yeah, it was. Origins was like the last second game, and yeah, the parkour just fucking sucks, man. They just stripped that shit bare bones to Assassin's Creed 2, but with just like HD graphics to it. But I don't know, man. What my favorite Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed Ghost of Tsushima. That's what it is. So,
Yeah, like
oh man,
man, it's just funny because like speaking of Ghost of Tsushima, it's funny because I remember when Sucker Punch was like, yeah, when we announced Ghost of Tsushima, we were so scared that fucking Ubisoft would announce Assassin's Creed Japan or whatever. And it's just funny. I hope they never do because nigga, you have a high bar to reach, and I don't think you're
you
capable of
actually
reaching it.
do.
You're
If
not
they
gonna be
fuck
able to
that
reach
up,
it.
no, they're gonna have to rework. If they're gonna do Assassin's Creed Japan, they're gonna have to rework the entire foundation of Assassin's Creed, like the way the mechanics are and just everything. They're gonna have to probably steal a little bit from Ghost of Tsushima,
Oh,
which I'm not
definitely,
mad.
definitely, without a doubt, without a doubt.
Um, I mean, you want to move on to the next thing with Call of Duty because Call of Duty is just
Yeah,
boy, this
yeah,
whole Cold War thing. There is a Cold War on your storage right here because the fact that this game is going to be 250 gigabytes of space on your PC is insane. For you who is not, for people who don't know about storage or just like the price of an average SSD, um, that's what $70
yeah.
or like 60 something, somewhere around that price margin, and the fact that an entire game is 250 gigabytes is just asinine. It is ass at the same time.
And I'm
Like
seeing here, even the basic storage requirement is still 170 gigabytes of space. Nigga, that's
I
still
oh
fucking
my
stupid.
god, yeah.
That is
No.
dumb. Dumb.
Fucking crazy.
Like, no game
Fucking
should be
insane.
that big, bro. That's
No.
insane.
No.
And I
It's
felt, luckily for me, I fell out of Call of Duty a long time ago. I used to be a big COD fan back, like, in the Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops era. But once we got past that, it's like, yeah, I'm cool off Call of Duty, man. I tried a couple of them in the past, like, just like in passing, like at a friend's house or whatever have you. And not a once did I feel like, oh, maybe I should hop back in. Nah, it's just always the
yeah.
same. It's always the same shit. So,
Yeah, and especially like because I mean I heard Modern Warfare was really good. I kind of wanted to get that, but apparently it bricked a lot of people's PCs because it would corrupt their hard drive. So that was a no for me. Um, it was funny because I don't have an article about it, but I think I remember Nvidia teaming up with Black Ops, and they're like, "Oh, we'll get you a 3080 if you no. If you buy a 3080, you'll get Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War for free." And I was like, they should have had it to where if you got a hard drive, you have a chance to get Call of Duty Black Ops instead because that's a lot of memory.
it
No, and
is.
this
It
leads me
is.
to the next thing with the consoles because I don't think Sony's gonna have a good go at this in the beginning because they have an 800, which is an odd ass number, an 825 or 50 gigabytes of storage for their like standard console, but only about 650 of it is available.
Yeah, that's
I looked
ass.
at I looked at the Call of Duty thing, and a Call of Duty is at least 100 and something gigabytes, 135 for the PlayStation 5, if I remember correctly. That is like, come on, do your math here. That's of course like almost a sixth of your. I'm not good at math, but you get my point.
Yeah,
It,
it's a big chunk of your memory, and
the fact
having
that they're not actually having the SSD expansions available during launch is not good.
yeah, it's just like uh, originally I was gonna wait. I've kind of flip flopped here and there. I was debating on whether to get the PS5 at launch or around launch, or to wait. I After that news, I'm gonna wait because I'm assuming sometime early next year, or maybe mid next year during summer or something, they'll have some sort of special edition where it's like a terabyte that's actually usable.
I might
I
have to
prefer
actually
that.
get the disc version as much as I don't want to, because I think Izzy's right because what the reason why I didn't want to get the disc version is because PlayStation 4 was dumb with the whole thing of actually putting the disc in the game and having to
Yeah,
download the whole game anyways.
yeah, that was my main driving factor. But you're right. Izzy probably is right because you're limiting yourself to only buying from Sony at that point. Whereas like you can't get any deals or anything.
Oh, I
And
can get deals. Believe me, I got connects. I can get a game for $20 on the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation Store, but I can't.
that
I'm not gonna mention the sites. But go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. But yeah, I personally, yeah, I want to wait till they release some better editions. Matter of fact, you already know. I wonder if they're gonna have a special edition for the Miles Morales game, because they did it for
Oh, I hope they
the
do.
original Spider-Man, which I have sitting in my little cubby over there next to my TV, my little stand. That console's beautiful. Like if they had a Miles Morales bundle, with like a terabyte of space, nigga, I would pick that shit up immediately.
Yeah, I would
That's
honestly pay $500 for that, to be honest.
yeah, that shit.
And honestly,
That's
you don't even
cool.
actually have to get the thing because the custom panels will. It did exist. It's gonna come back. I know it will because people will find a way.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
um, the fact that you can change the panels, hell yeah, I would get a Miles Morales thing. I mean, that kind of leads me to Miles Morales. Glad that you brought that up because um, I'm so happy that they actually have the Miles Morales into the Spider Verse costume.
Yeah,
Like
that's a
I
really dope inclusion.
love that movie a lot. Like that is probably my favorite Spider-Man movie. But the cool thing about this suit is that they had this feature where not only do they have like comic book like punch effects and like sound effects and stuff, but they actually have Miles run on twos, which anyone who's not into like animation, like twos and threes are essentially like how fluid, like the fluidity of movement in animation. Ones being the slowest, twos being like kind of slow, and like threes just like being like really fast and shit like that. I think I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna have that costume on the entire time
Yeah,
because
that costume was great. That movie was even
yeah.
greater. Like it's
And
gonna be
it's
cool when the sequel comes out. I think it's like 2022.
yeah, something like that. And I mean, people are already saying like this game, even though it's smaller, is like there's some improvements from the predecessor because I love it. I was watching some gameplay of it, and they had like the music, like the hip hop shit going on while you're swinging. I was like, yes.
Yeah, they definitely caught the vibe. Like the vibe is there,
Yeah.
and the gameplay is definitely there, and it's cool that like his powers being incorporated in the combat. It makes him distinct from Peter, because whereas
Oh,
Peter's just
you
a
can do
straight up
tricks
ball.
too. You can do
Tricks.
tricks while you're. Yeah, I know. Like
Ooh.
when you're like in the air, because when he gets his like venom, because when you're swinging, there's a chance where your venom will like shoot you like fast into the sky after you get done swinging. But you can build up that meter by doing like flips and shit.
Oh wow. Okay.
And Have you seen the costumes, by the way? Because I saw all the
I, s-
costumes.
I saw
Dog,
I saw a couple of them. They look pretty clean. Like they look
did you see the
sick.
one where he was like metallic, but like his hands and his feet were glowing red?
No, I didn't see that one. That shit sounds sick as fuck
Uh
though.
no,
That sounds
no,
sick as fuck.
it
What?
is tight as fuck. Yeah, no, you gotta see. I'll have to link it to you. In fact, I'll link it to. I'll give Bean the link to it, and you can put it in the podcast. So yeah, it was funny. I was telling Beam about this review uh, that GameSpot had put out about Miles Morales, and full disclosure, this person he was black, but in context, what he said was, uh, you could feel Miles when like Miles jumps off a skyscraper, you feel like the wind or see the wind like brush up against his clothes, and he like swings off. He's like, this just shows like the exaggerated swagger of a black teen, and I was like, ah man, you could have said it any other way than that,
Yeah.
because
Like, what the fuck?
I saw it, I was like, hold up, like
Wow.
that shit was hilarious. Man, that kind of looks like that's it for the games. Let's kind of get into some serious shit right here. Let's talk about some Social Dilemma from Netflix.
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, I was sleeping on a movie for a long time, but I like I said, I listened to the Joe Budden podcast and another podcast called See the Thing Is. But Joe and them, they had talked about this movie, and then our other friend in our friend group, she had told us we should watch it as well. It's called Social Dilemmas on Netflix. And man, the shit they show you in there, dude, like they just show you the machine behind social media and the what they do for engagement, like this predictive AI that's like basically every time you open your phone and you go on your fucking Facebook or whatever, there's always this AI in the background that's like constantly predicting like, oh, this nigga like this, so make sure to pop this up on the screen. And it's just that shit is
Uh,
fucking wild. Like
I'm on my
honestly.
phone right now. I'm
Yeah,
looking at Facebook right now. It has
yeah,
control of me.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's just it's a wild thing. And if you wanted to learn more about it, you need to watch it because honestly, it's important. Now, you preface this by saying because they said it in the movie itself anyway. Because they had this one guy who he was avidly like, "Nah, delete all your social media, delete all this stuff." But by the end of the day, they even say some of the other like developers of the apps, like Google and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. They basically said like, listen, it don't really matter whether you have social media or not because even if you don't, it still affects you because the people around you have it, and it's just gonna affect you regardless. So
Yeah.
you just have to be mindful. Is what the whole thing about it is. Now they have some psychology in there though because the developers themselves have admitted that they've fallen prey to it as well. They have this kind of research they do where they can like stimulate parts of your brain without you knowing it, so you're not conscious of why you're still scrolling, but there's this kind of psychosis in there that keeps you glued to your screen. And I've experienced that. I definitely have experienced that before. Like I remember back when I would be on Facebook a lot, and I'd just be constantly sharing these memes and funny things, looking at what other people are sharing, and just stuck to my screen. After a while, for some reason, I just got bored of that shit, and I stopped. So I barely really use my socials now. But I mean, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to because where I'm going in my business ordeals and plans and stuff, I'm gonna have to use it because that's the only way you can build your brand and connect with people. That's not to say you can't be careful about how you use it and make sure you have these certain gaps in measure so you're not just constantly engulfed in the shit, right? So
Yep.
yeah,
I think. Oh boy. We had a conversation about this a while ago. Are you talking about that? Because I don't know. I've realized like the dangers of social media. I remember Facebook when it first came out. Um, Always be aware of what you're making. That's the most important thing. And when I mean be aware, I mean think of the good things and think about the negative things.
yeah,
That that's that is honestly the most important thing you can take away from it, because you know, with something like this, the people who made it, their intention was to connect people, but the negative side was that it disconnected people. It caused misinformation, all this fake news media, and I talk about this in a class that I'm in, how social media has essentially became the official news source for the things we find out about. I honestly hate the idea that we have to get news from Twitter. I hate the fact that, you know, McDonald Trump was using Twitter as a way to showcase all the information that he receives and he gives out, because it's like
Yeah,
it's fucking dumb.
yeah, it's
I don't like media at all in general, but the fact that, you know, you're using Twitter, which can be edited, hacked, manipulated, all the other shit,
yep.
and you mean to tell me that, like, and this is the thing I'm gonna get to, because it leads into the elections right here, which kind of irritated me a lot, because there is more fake news than there is positive news or correct
Yeah,
news.
yeah. They've
And
said that constantly within that, by the way, documentary.
yeah, essentially people getting brainwashed and indoctrinated into this idea that people are evil, or like one side of the group is evil, they're trying to do something. It's just, it's depressing. It
It
seriously
is.
is,
It
because
is.
like we have a story. I have a story that I'll talk about, but like, you know, I don't use like Facebook all that much. I use Instagram the most because it's for my business. I hate the fact that I have Twitter, because, you know, Twitter is
It's a
fucking toxic.
yeah. It's a cesspool. It's
It's
yeah,
toxic, and honestly, there's also censorship,
yeah.
and that's the other thing with just like the internet in general. And I don't agree with it. I don't agree with censorship in any form at all. And I'm gonna say this objectively. I don't think there should be censorship on any political party, because of the fact that if you have censorship, they're still going to be talking about it, and then you're going to get surprised.
Yeah, it's true.
Honestly, we're gonna get a little political in here. If you want to know the reason why Donald Trump won, is because people got censored so much they got fucking pissed off, and he got the election. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise to me, at least. But I mean, to other people, they're just like, oh, I don't know how this happened. And the same thing happened with this election right here. People were like, oh, well, how did Joe Biden win? Dog, misinformation all around.
Yeah.
Seriously,
No, seriously. Like we're saying,
kind of rambling, but it's just, I don't know.
it's insane. You really should educate yourself and watch this documentary because it was mind opening for me, dude. Like literally, what we're talking about, this fake news misinformation. Like they literally said in there, some of the developers, like what they'll do is like kind of probe you. And I honestly realized like that was happening to me on YouTube because it happens on YouTube as well. They had a YouTube guy in there, and he was talking about how he made this algorithm and how they used it to where it's this predictive thing, and they can kind of like probe your mind a little bit, like, okay, he leans this way, let's try to see if we can sway him towards the other side. So they'll slowly sort of try to put these subtle videos, and maybe you click one and you're like, oh, this guy seems cool. You keep watching them, and then they start predicting other people that are like that. And then that's where the indoctrination starts happening, where you're kind of getting all of this misinformation or whatever have you that's now kind of swaying you in these different and opposing directions. And it's like they said in that documentary, too. The thing is, too, what people don't realize is like you're following, like, this is social media I'm talking about. You're following all these people that kind of align with your ideals. So when someone comes in that's on the opposite spectrum, which is this is a problem. It is a problem. You immediately like, oh, I hate that nigga. Immediately. Like, oh,
No,
they don't agree with me. I hate that person. Like that's wrong. It's wrong.
that no,
It's
that
wrong.
is totally, man. Yeah, no, that is totally the case, because yeah, the whole echo chamber thing,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. I have a weird outlook on social media and stuff, because I have I have a firm belief that anyone who I talk to on social media isn't real. That is honestly what I believe in, because there are bots, there are people who catfish a lot. I have no idea. So honestly, like, because before I'd always be careful. I'm like, oh man, is someone gonna like get me for this? I don't fucking care. I really don't. I go on Reddit and stuff, like, and I kind of hate it because of the fact that Reddit is honestly an echo chamber of its own, and it's just like I would say something and people would be like, oh, this is fucking fear mongering right here. I fucking hate you. You're stupid. And it's just, actually, I'll give some further context, because I'm not gonna tell you where I live, but I live in the Pacific Northwest. And there was something on there where someone was like, there's a news article where, National Guard and um, the Army was going to be like aware of like what happens after the elections, because they're talking about protesting and stuff like that, because the whole thing was up in the air. And I was just like, the only thing that I fear, which I think this is a logical concern, that's the only thing that I fear is that people, like, the only thing I fear is that shit doesn't get burnt down, like apartments and stuff, because hey, I live in an apartment, I live in a downtown area. I don't want my apartment burnt into flames, into cinders and stuff, because people aren't happy that the person that they elected didn't get elected.
Right.
And people try to flame me for it. They're like, "Oh, how's that boogeyman of a fear that you created?" I was like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
That's wild.
and it's like you said, but it's like you said, Beam. There is misinformation going all around, and I'll go ahead and get into the story of this person that I was talking to, and I don't talk to her no more because she just pissed me off about the things that she was saying, because it was just out of field, and it was just like out of nowhere. But she was like telling me, because I had talked to her like in a while, and then I like got out, reached out to her, and she had followed up the next day, and she was like, "Hey, have you watched the debates?" And I was like, "Oh no, like I don't, or I didn't watch it yet, but I know that Trump was trying to interrupt again." And she was like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna vote." And I was like, "Okay, why?" And she was like, "Well, because all these people are bad." And I was like, "Okay, true, because honestly, I have no faith in any politician."
No,
And
dude, political games all depend on lies. They lie to you. They're
oh,
they're professional liars. They promise you things. They tell you things that you want to hear. You vote for them, and they don't do shit for you.
of
That's just
course,
the bottom line, and that's for both sides, by the way. Like I don't trust neither of these niggas.
yeah.
Neither of them.
And
So
the way I see it, um, I don't I don't blame you for feeling this way, but at this certain elections, like, I feel like this was different, because honestly, black people in America, as far as politics, don't align at all. Like, anything that we do is not in our best interest,
it's
because
not.
the system is not built in our interests. It's the fact. So that's the truth. But the thing is, though, it's like, I was trying to tell her, like, hey, the reason why I don't want Trump to win again is because of the fact that he had a piss poor response to this
Pandemic.
virus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pandemic.
And then she goes about like, oh, well, what about Joe Biden and all the stuff that he did? And I'm like, I get that. Joe Biden is a pretty fucked up person, because his track record with African Americans are bad. The same thing with Kamala Harris. She sucks too. But the thing is, though, is like, we are fucking dying out here. We don't have any jobs. We have to wear a fucking mask everywhere we go. I just want this shit gone. And then she's just like, oh, I just want you to like educate yourself. I feel like you need to like do some more research. I did this research, and you just seem really misinformed. And I'm like, okay, now you got to get the fuck up out of here with that.
Says the person who's not going to vote at all. And listen, like you're. It's all for. I'm not trying to doubt anyone. Like you feel the way you feel, but you gotta do something. I used to be that way too. I'm not gonna lie. Like I used to think that there was no point in voting because nothing is gonna change. But dude, it's our right to do so. You have to.
Doug,
You
we
have to.
changed. We actually got Joe Biden the election.
Right.
If it weren't for black people, he wouldn't have got that shit in Philly or Arizona. I don't even Arizona flip. That shit was crazy. But all those like minority areas right there, if they didn't vote for him, it would he would have fucking lost. The fact that we live in an area, we live in a area that is not for us, and we still continue to fight for it says something.
Yeah. Seriously.
But as far as that person that I just mentioned, no, I I hate talking about politics
I do too. Listen,
with anyone.
I don't know if I said this last podcast on the last episode, but I have politics in the same place I have racism, religion, and classism, all those terms you want to use. Dude, it's just there to incite deceit and to
Division.
division. That's all it is. Like until people get past that, we're not gonna get anything done. Nothing. Oh, I hate
Yeah.
that person because they're black. Oh, I hate that person because they're Jewish. Dude, what the fuck? Like honestly, nothing is going to change unless we get past all this bullshit.
My
Politics
thing
are theatrics. They're all on the
my
same
thing is
team, man.
also you're right. Yeah, my thing also is just the fact that like we just need to have healthy dialogue. I hate the
Yeah,
fact, and
yeah,
I brought up this example too. I said people used to be on this scale, or it used to be like this gray scale, but we essentially turned it. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna put it in the context of red and blue. People have essentially went on the complete opposite directions on the scale, just waiting to fall off the edge.
right.
That's just what it is because there is no conversation at all. I hate the fact that there is this echo chamber where you only hear about the things that you want to hear, but when you hear the things that don't agree with you or you don't agree with it, you demonize it.
Yeah, it's bad, man. It's bad. And
And
you put
that's
in there too, just to completely put in like the climate we're in now, where there's like a lot of sensitive people and like cancel culture and all this stuff. Like it's just it doesn't. It's not good. It doesn't bode well. Like where we're at right now. It's just this whole melting pot of just muck. You know,
yeah.
it's
All
just
I'm saying is just healthy dialogue is the most important thing. Don't be afraid to talk to your neighbor. The thing is, though, it's not like for anyone. I mean, there are that few majority, but the thing is, though, the majority of people don't want to kill each other. It's just
right.
a huge thing of misinformation. Go outside, talk to someone, get yourself out there, and get a better understanding of the world. That is the only way we are going to survive if we
Yeah,
just talk to each other.
you
My
can't
closing
just block
thoughts,
stuff out. You can't.
yeah, and my closing thoughts, since this whole thing is over with, where do we go from here? Like, what is next? Because 2016 to 2020 felt like it was a lot longer than it is coming out of my mouth. It was supposed to be 4 years, but it felt like 10.
Yeah,
The fact that,
especially this year. God,
yeah,
this year
oh, this
dragged
year
on.
felt like 5 years. I'm not going to lie. A lot of stuff happened just in 1 year. And I don't exactly know where we go from here because, objectively speaking, Trump has affected this area, has affected the United States in more than one. In a good way and a
Yeah,
positive way. Trump has put money in people's pockets. Whether you hate him, whether you love him, you profit off of him. That is just the honest truth. And a lot of the comedians like fucking love talking about him, and it's good because the fact that they're going to be challenged now to come up with better jokes instead of like political ones. They were funny, but I mean, I don't want to hear about this anymore. I don't
yeah,
want to hear about
it's done.
politics
It's over with
anymore for a
now.
while.
Yeah,
So I think the best course of action is to stay awake, stay vigil. You know, this fight isn't over with yet. you know, we lost the battle at first, and we lost another one. But this war is not. Or did I say we lost one? No, we won one. The war is never over with. We
Yeah,
still have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of healing to do, and we got this.
yeah.
So
We just gotta stand together, guys. That's all it is. Educate yourself. Look up information, and you know, just be open to dialogue, open to like differing opinions. Like I always try to keep in the back of my mind, I may not agree with it, but I at least respect it. We can have a discourse, whatever. I'm cool with it. We don't have to agree, but let's just be civil. Like you don't have to
yeah,
fucking chop each other's heads off because this nigga doesn't like what I like. I don't care. We can talk
yeah.
about it, and then that's all it is.
And
So
before anyone tries to I don't know what the comments are, but before anyone tries to call me out a hypocrite for saying that I don't talk to the person, I don't talk to this person because of the fact that the way she spoke to me made it seem like I was a dum dum. Like
yeah,
she
and
made it seem like
that's
I didn't
not
know what I was
no.
talking about, and I don't respect it at all.
Yeah,
I
no, you shouldn't. Especially telling someone you need to educate yourself, and like it's almost condescending. Like you think you're above them. No. Try to come at me from an angle of like, I understand, but let's agree to disagree. Let's just leave it at that. Don't tell someone, oh, educate yourself. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, I could say the same for you. Why are you trying to be condescending to me? That's, miss me with that shit. Miss me with that.
Yeah.
So,
But with
yeah,
that being said, this will never be a political podcast. This is the only time that we're talking about politics
yeah,
on this
because
podcast.
it's important.
Um,
Like it's the now. But like you just said, we'll probably never touch on this again unless something huge happens. And damn, that crowd back there sounds like they're going wild, bro.
yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, no, we will never talk about it again. This is it. This is it. But no, what are we watching today? What have you been watching?
Yeah. So currently, today I'm definitely gonna get back to try and finish Breaking Bad. I'm still on season one. I haven't been able to watch anything because as I said earlier yesterday, I was doing that whole drive with my mom to PA, and that shit was a long trip, 10 hours total. But yeah, currently I'm watching Breaking Bad. I actually restarted watching Dragon Ball Super. I started from the Universe 6 versus 7 arc. Man, I really want Dragon Ball to come back, dude. Like I miss it. I miss it. Like I'm just wondering what they're waiting on. Like I guess maybe they're working on another movie. I don't know, but I
Oh,
want Dragon.
that's Trump people.
Oh, in the background there.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh my.
man.
Oh my God.
Oh
That's like
man.
25 people.
Man.
Well, I'm getting. I'm about to get a front row. God damn. Anyways, what are we saying?
Oh yeah, I was just talking about Dragon Ball and how I want a new series or the movie to come out already. It's like we're lacking in content on that. And what else have I been watching? I haven't really been watching anything else besides that out there. I want to restart Bleach soon because I haven't watched that in a long time. And then yeah, I guess I'll go into other shows. I've heard like of good shows like P Valley and other shows. But yeah, what about you, man? What have you been watching?
Yeah, well, of course, I got. Well, Izzy's been talking about. Izzy is honestly like the movie person,
Yeah,
honestly.
he is. He's seen like any and everything. So
Yeah. Um, my friend who we played with Ghost of Tsushima, he kept recommending me to Breaking Bad, and I was like, I'll give it a shot. And man, I wish I saw this shit sooner because I binge watched that whole shit within a week. Like I was watching. There was a day where I spent nothing, and I don't usually do this because I try to stay productive and busy when I have like time off. But I sat on my couch for 6 hours and I watched the whole fucking thing. I know I watched a whole season in one day, and I was just like, "Fuck, I cannot get enough." Just seeing the descent of a man who originally had nothing to lose everything, and just the way like his character transformed. Like I understand fuck you. Anyways,
Oh man.
anyways, no, it is honestly really, really good. It's a really good show, and I don't even have to be the one to co-sign it. Like everyone knows that it's a really good show. There's a lot of badass moments that are kind of funny in a fucked up way. But yeah, I watched that. I watched El Camino. El Camino was a good send off to one of the main characters, Jesse, because this dude goes through a lot. Like, I didn't realize like at the end how much things have changed and how much one man has pretty much fucked up a lot of people's lives, because Walter White he goes from like a victim to essentially an antagonist towards the end, and I love it. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, yeah. I can't wait to get to the parts because him and Izzy have explained parts to me. I'm just like, I can't wait to get to that. Because just even from the first season, if you haven't seen it, just even from the first season, you could kind of tell the kind of person Walter is, like the kind of life he's led, and why that descent makes so much sense from a logical standpoint. It's just like when you get beat down, you don't have like you feel like your choice has been made for you. You fucking constantly emasculating all these things. He's repressing, and it just comes out in the worst way possible. And now you have to deal with this fucking monster now. So
yeah, I like the duality in his personality, because I'm a firm believer that he has dissociative identity disorder throughout the whole thing. Because yeah, you're right. In the first season, when he was like going through it, his only way of expressing his frustration is fucking his wife.
Yeah.
At first she was enjoying it, and then at this like the last time when she had like pretty much cut it off, he tried to fuck her in the kitchen, running her head into the refrigerator, and she was like getting pissed off. And then when he got into his empire, he just showed it just transformed into like him showing who he wanted to be through his illegal business. And man, yeah. The other thing I'm pretty sure we've both been watching is Mandalorian. I know the second episode came out. I didn't get a chance to watch it because my Disney Plus was messing up on my TV, so I'll probably watch it. Probably watch it today or something like that.
Yeah, Mandalorian is great, guys. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to watch it. If you're into like the Western and Star Wars, kind of Westerns and Star Wars mixed together, it's fucking awesome. The first episode was a great retread back into that world. And from what I saw of episode 2, because I wasn't able to finish it, yeah, like, it's awesome. Love Pedro Pascal. We got to see Boba Fett in the last episode. Apparently Ahsoka is going to be in this season. It's gearing up to be awesome. So definitely check it out.
My only thing is, like, I guess this happens whenever I watch something really good and I go into like another show. Like, I didn't really enjoy the first episode of the second season because it just felt very slow.
Yeah, it was definitely slow, but I felt like it was more so like a kind of like a palate cleanser almost, because a lot of shit happened in the first season, especially towards the end. So it's supposed to like kind of rev up. I think like it's just slow, and then I'm sure once Moff Gideon and all these other bounty hunters and other things start coming into play, it's gonna get hectic for him.
Yeah.
Especially that, because we don't know what Boba Fett's intentions are either. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna fight at some point.
Yeah, I have no idea. Probably. It was kind of weird that he grabbed his armor, because like something just looked off. Like the person who took Boba Fett's gear just looked weird to me.
It's because he wasn't fully wearing the armor. Like you could tell pieces of it were gone, and not only that, like the dude was too big for it. Like in terms of like his height and stuff. So like he was only wearing pieces of it, and then it was meshed in with his like fucking like sweater. It was like this nigga's so fucking cool.
Sweater.
I was like, this nigga's a fucking weirdo, and it's just funny. Like immediately, like fucking Mando already knew. All right, this nigga's not a Mandalorian. I'm gonna have to take that shit from him right now, because this nigga just took his helmet off with ease and stuff. It was just like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, dude.
He's gonna hate Boba Fett even more. Actually, he hates Boba Fett even more than Boba Fett, because Jango is the one who literally like pissed off the Mandalorians.
Yeah, because he was originally a Mandalorian, but then he got kicked out, right? And Boba Fett is not even a Mandalorian. He just fucking uses the armor That's it.
He's the son of
Of
Jango Fett, and
Django, yeah.
he just continued what his dad was doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
But
don't know. That's all I've been watching. Shit, we have any closing thoughts?
I don't really have much. Just again, thank you for listening. If you've been watching, I was actually surprised on the first episode. We have like 80 views. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good for me. Like I'm surprised. I didn't expect that many, to be honest with you. So
Yeah, it really is.
if you listened this far and you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and a comment if you have like any thoughts you want to discuss or whatever. Yeah, man, you can't thank you enough. It's fun just sitting here and just talking about shit. Like I remember before the countless times we tried to record this, it never seemed to like mesh together the way it has been, and it's just fun to just be able to like bounce around these different topics and talk about shit. It's fun. So thank you for all
Yeah.
that
Yep.
support.
Yep. And as course, as we keep going, we're gonna add more stuff. I think we should, I think we should have like some like beats at the beginning, at the end of the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. I need to like figure all that out. I want to get eventually get a soundboard too to have like sounds to play like when funny shit happens or just random shit. Like it'll be cool. It'll be cool to work on
Yeah.
all that when we get there. But for now,
Yeah.
this is how it is. So yeah.
Yep. Yep. Well, everyone. I hope you all stay safe. I hope y'all can breathe and know that the year is almost over with. We have at least 2 more months until there's an alien invasion. So yeah,
I'm
we
not
got
gonna
this.
lie. I'm a little cynical, pessimistic about that. Like, shit, let it happen then. Like the aliens, come on, bro. What's you waiting for, bro? But yeah, you guys stay safe out there. Yeah, I hope like the stress that's been like on your mind is gone now because of all this election stuff is over with now. So yeah, you guys stay safe. Thank you for your ears. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.